I don't know if you've heard, it's been quite a subtle promo campaign, but you're sharing a card with the greatest wrestling match ever this weekend. So
it's very subtle, yes.
Really subtle, yeah. So with Edge and Orton obviously having that tagline and the pressure with that, does that kind of give you added pressure to outdo them with your match, or is it sort of a weight off your shoulders without that kind of pressure?
I don't see it as pressure. I'm certainly pressure for those guys, I assume. Trying to have the greatest wrestling match just ever. But for myself and Lashley, I don't think we're going in to have the greatest wrestling match ever. And I've been joking around in a few interviews saying, it's more than likely we're going to have potentially the greatest fight ever. But yeah, I think for Lashley and I, there's a few people that, like the ones who know that we're going to really go in there and lay into each other. It's going to be good. And there's a few people that are apprehensive. So Lashley and I are excited to show the world what we can really do.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to come next to Razine Gutta in South Africa.
Hi, Drew. How are you?
Good, buddy. How are you? Look, there you are. Oh, no. I've lost volume.
Okay. Sorry about that. So, Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley this weekend. Bobby told us that it's not a match we'll know how much we want to see until we actually see it. And something else he told me when we chatted not so long ago was that he would prefer having you in a street fight, away from the ring and away from management. He accepted that you're the chosen one and claimed in a different environment he might stand a better chance. So I want to know from you, firstly, what do you say we can expect from the big fight? And secondly, what's your take on the recent cinematic matches we've seen, and how much would you like to be involved in something like that?
Ooh, that's a big question. I'll see if I can remember parts of it. Lashley talks a lot. I can say, for one thing, I agree. People are going to be, I think, surprised by our match. We're really going in there to show the world what we're truly capable of, and I don't think there's many people that are capable of being as physical as myself and Lashley. We bring that out of each other. Regarding the street fight, etc., or possibly a cinematic match that is some kind of street fight, I think that'd be awesome. If Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream didn't just have a backlot brawl, I had this image in my head of like a nighttime, cars in a circle, headlights on, and Lashley and I fist tape. I think that'd be pretty cool. But matches for the title, I do believe should be traditional wrestling matches, and I'm very big on that. Regarding the chosen one stuff, like I saw this last week. For everyone that's watching, I assume you were all part of the Lashley call as well. He says a lot of truths. Match is going to be great. Match is going to be physical. We both worked really hard. But the chosen one was 11 years ago. I think he's hanging on to the past a little bit much. I was the chosen one. Then I was in 3MB. And then I was, fired. And I had to start from scratch, work my way back up, work harder than anybody in the world to get everything that was granted to me after that. And the reason that I finally started rolling towards, winning the Royal Rumble and winning the title at WrestleMania was because the fans chose me, not anybody in the office. So don't lie, Lashley, you freaking liar. Thank you.
Absolutely. All the best for the match, Drew.
Thank you, buddy.
We will come next to Hussam at Arab News.
Hey, how you doing? All right.
Great.
So you just come off of a WrestleMania, and you've entered like a list of that, like the elite of WWE have entered, which is toppling Brock Lesnar at a WrestleMania, and you realize your dream, and you just said that you've had a whirlwind of a ride in your career in the WWE. So you're going up against Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley is also has had quite the journey as well. And I'd probably say you have like one of the hungriest contenders in the roster right now, and his affiliation with MVP. So how do you feel with all these elements? Do you think you're going to walk out? You're going to walk out of Backlash as champion, or do you have your hands tied on this one?
I think first of all, I beat Brock Lesnar in 5 minutes, not 4, not 6, but 5 minutes. Beat Brock Lesnar in the main event of WrestleMania. But yes, Lashley is the greatest threat to my title, and I'm happy for a start. The title deserves, a match like this. The fans deserve a match like this. I demand competition like this, and it's been a while coming to get the real Lashley. You know, I've experienced the real Lashley outside of WWE, but since he came to back to Raw, you know, he's been trying to find himself, and be it with the sisters thing, be it with Leo Rush, be it with the Lana nonsense. That's not the kind of Lashley that, you know, is going to contend for the world title. You know, where he is right now, the killer Lashley, the association with MVP, you know, this is Lashley's finally, you know, coming into his own. He's ready to be in that title match. He is the biggest threat to the title. The match is going to be highly physical. I am going to win. I am going to remain WWE champion. But my job is to make sure, you know, everybody that works with Drew McIntyre, everyone steps in the ring, Drew McIntyre leaves better than they were before they stepped in the ring with me. So after this match, Lashley may not be champion, but he'll be in top contention going forward and be in a spot that he should have been in all along. So everyone keep coming at me. I'll keep making stars.
Okay, and just a quick question. You know, it's one thing to dream about being a champion. Now that you're the WWE champion, just how do you feel? And just how do you feel differently than when you did as, you know, pursuing this title?
I mean, I've still got the same drive and work ethic. You know, I'm a bit insane when it comes to my work ethic. This has been my life's work. I'm obsessed. I think about it all the time. I knew if I was able to pull off winning the title, that's when the hard work started. I think a lot of people obsess so much about winning the title. Once they get it, they kind of think, okay, that's me made it. It's been the opposite for me. Since I won the title that night at 1 a.m., I started on my media calls. I started working as hard as I could within the confines of a pandemic. Of doing what can I do to put more eyes on the product as the WWE, you know, Raw ambassador. And that's all I've been trying to do, is just work every day to think of unique, different ways to get eyes on the product, be it an online feud with Tyson Fury or Colby Covington, UFC, or Chris Sutton, the soccer TV presenter in the UK, whatever it takes. And all I know is, like you say, it's taken a long time to get it. So I do keep it by my side at all times to remind myself that I'm actually champion, because it's still surreal to me.
We will come next to
Thank you,
Josh
buddy.
Lawless at Sport Bible.
Hi, Drew. How's it going, mate?
Oh, it's going fantastic. How are you, mate?
Good. Yeah, not too bad. You mentioned Mr. Tyson Fury then. He's obviously got a big fight with AJ. 2-fight deal he's had confirmed probably next year now. He's talked about wanting to face you. You've, you know, gone back and forth a bit. How desperate are you to have that match with Fury? Because it would be a massive deal for Britain and wrestling on the whole.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about the match with Fury if it's for the right reasons. You know, I've obviously said that our superstars are going to get the title opportunity before anybody. But if we can arrange a situation, the big thing for me is a UK pay-per-view. You know, I think if we're going to get a UK pay-per-view as big as SummerSlam 92, it's been a long time coming. The fans deserve it. And if it takes Drew McIntyre versus Tyson Fury on the bill to make that happen, you know, I want to do it in the right place, the right setting. I know Fury feels the same way. Not to speak out of turn, because he spoke out of turn and mentioned he had a phone call with Vince McMahon recently. So I don't know what that means. All I know is I'm going to sit here, wait patiently. When Fury shows up, I'll be very happy to kick his face off.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Drew, and all the best for Sunday, mate.
Thank you, buddy.
We'll come next to Luis Ramirez at Millennial. Luis, go ahead.
Hello, Drew. How are you?
Good, bud. How are you?
Thanks for the minutes. And the question is, how do you take care of yourself with the normal new life in United States? It's different. You compare before WrestleMania, and now is the second pay-per-view with the championship. How do you take care of yourself with this new normality in United States?
Like, how do I take care of myself, like fitness-wise?
Fitness and a normal life, because obviously more people are now in the outside. How different is they caring?
Okay, I missed the last part. I heard some dogs. I don't know if they were asking questions too. So the gym and what else?
The gym and the normal life. How different is your normal life now that the people are in the streets if you compare with before the WrestleMania?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously very strange for everybody. Right now, the strangest thing of all is that I'm actually home a lot more all the time, actually, because we tape TV in Orlando, which is about 2 hours from where I'm sitting right now. So I went from being on the road 4 days a week, 52 weeks a year, sometimes 2-week tours at a time all around the world, to being home all the time. So that's pretty cool to get this opportunity and still be able to work and be WWE champion. At the same time, also, my wife and I have never spent so much time together, and I guess we're going to make it because now we've been around each other all the time. She's happy, I'm happy, so that's a plus. And regarding the health and fitness, all the gyms did close here. So I had to figure that out pretty quick. And basically, the day I walked into the gym, they told me, we're closing. I went straight to a new and used equipment store, got some basics that I could bring home, and took everything out my garage and started setting up a little home gym, and was able to get the most kind of basic pieces of equipment I needed to get by. And that's basically where I work out now, like Rocky or Scottish Rocky or something. And I think I'll continue to do that because I actually really enjoy it. Leading up to WrestleMania, I was basically training like Rocky, outside, running in the streets, training in my garage. And I'm assuming Brock has access to the the latest state-of-the-art gym equipment. So it was like Rocky, Ivan Drago leading into Mania. But yeah, things are different, but it's all about finding the positives in the negative situations.
Thanks, Zul.
We'll come next to Alex McCarthy at TalkSport.
Alex.
There we go. Drew, how are you, my man?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad at all, thank you. You're right, though. The weather is pretty trash here, but what
It's
are you
been
going to do?
hot there for like 2 or 3 weeks. Don't you complain? It was basically like hurricanes here. It's just sunny today. First day in weeks.
I don't mind it when it's cloudy. I'm too pale for that weather anyway. But
Sure.
I digress, Drew. So as you've been aware, since you become champ, everyone likes to talk about the champ, right? You get a lot of different opinions flying around. For you, you seem to have excelled and been more comfortable in your skin since the turn of the year, and you've really been more of yourself on camera. But the difference between you and other people in their first reign as champions is that you haven't really had the fans, of course, to give you the feedback. So what kind of feedback have guys like Heyman and maybe even Vince been giving you in your role as the top guy?
Yeah, I've been, I guess, kind of fortunate to get the opportunity to be myself. And from what I gather, it's coming across that way to people because it is me. Like the way I'm acting during this media call, obviously being a bit silly sometimes, joking around, but I can get very serious in the blink of an eye. That's just the real Drew. And thankfully, I guess today a good gauge is social media. It's so big, it's worldwide. WWE is over 1 billion social media followers. And the fact that it's been so positive on there has really blown my mind. When the internet can sometimes be a little negative, has been very positive. And the feedback I get from our social media departments are everything's going really well, which means the world to me. And all the feedback from people backstage is basically keep doing what you're doing. It's working. There's direction. People have their opinions, but we work as a team, be it Heyman, the writers, Mr. McMahon himself. It's basically just keep doing what you're doing. Here's a little thought to put in your head. If you like it, take it. If you don't, disregard it. But if there is ever an issue, I can assure you I'd know about it. So far, so good.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thank you, bud.
We'll come next to Miguel Perez at Marca.
Hi, Drew. How you doing?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you. Thanks for having us today, first of all. And you're facing Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship this Sunday at the WWE Backlash pay-per-view. But have you become a WWE champion? You have faced Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. And about Brock Lesnar, is your rivalry with Brock Lesnar over, or do you think it can continue in the future, like in SummerSlam, for example?
I mean, you never know when it comes to Brock Lesnar. He kind of comes and goes as he pleases. You never know when he's going to show up. In Money in the Bank last year, I was in a Money in the Bank match, lying on the floor, about to make my way back into the ring, and the music hit, and he came out and won the match. I didn't know that was going to happen. I don't think anybody knew that was going to happen. And if and when he inevitably shows back up, I'm assuming I won't see it coming. But the thing is, I know I'm ready for Brock Lesnar. Leading up to the match at WrestleMania, it was a unique situation where instead of Lesnar dominating his opponent all the way to the match and then beating them, or his opponent luckily getting one over on him, I dominated him leading into the match. I dominated him and beat him in 5 minutes in the match. And I assume he's going to have an issue with that and come for me. And I say, cool, Brock Lesnar, I'm waiting. Come have at it. I'll beat you in 4 minutes this time.
Thank you so much, Drew.
Thank you, bud.
We'll come next to Jude at HMW Podcast.
Hello, Drew. How's it going? Hope everything is good at your end.
Hey, Jude.
Hey.
Don't make this question bad.
Don't worry about it. So firstly, Bobby Lashley is a strong competitor and can be a threat for you at Backlash, especially with MVP on his side. Are you concerned by any chance?
For the match?
For MVP being on the side of Bobby Lashley at Backlash.
I guess, he's not like your traditional valet. He's not, a smaller guy like a Leo Rush. He's not somebody who perhaps wasn't a wrestler prior. He's a bigger guy. He's an accomplished wrestler and grappler. So, he's not the same as everyone else. It's like almost facing two people when you face Lashley and MVP. And now that Lashley doesn't have to worry about the verbal aspect, he can just focus on, the fighting aspect. And that brings a whole new dynamic to Lashley. But if MVP gets himself involved, like I said on Monday, I think I've gave him about 500,000 claymores in the past 6 weeks. I'll just make it 500,001 if he gets himself involved this week. But nonetheless, I'm happy that Lashley is on the path where he should be. It's exciting to have MVP back in the company. We go way back, like we keep talking about. We have a good chemistry, on the microphone. We just kind of go for it at each other and know there's going to be no hard feelings, and I'm excited for Sunday.
Sure. Quick question, though. Last question. If there is anyone from the current WWE roster you think deserves a chance to face you for the WWE title, who would it be?
I keep saying I want AJ. I want to draft AJ Styles back, and I want to get that match because I've been waiting for it for about 10 years. But there's a lot of people that deserve the opportunity. I just say to everybody, just keep the faith, keep working hard. Don't complain on social media. Use social media to build yourself up and use every opportunity you get. And finally, trust me, Drew McIntyre's living proof. If you keep working hard, you keep believing in yourself, you'll get there, and we'll be tangling down the line.
Awesome. Thank you, and good luck on WWE Backlash this Sunday.
Thank you, bud.
See you soon.
Ta-ta.
We'll come next to Joe Brophy at The Sun.
Hi, Drew. Thanks for taking the time.
From Joe.
I just want to ask, you were one of the people that publicly responded to Titus O'Neil's speech about violence in America. I just want to ask how much of an inspiration and influence he is to you and the rest of the locker room.
Yeah, Titus is, a friend, at the same time a mentor and somebody I'm constantly learning from. Just to give an example of things going on right now, I was watching the local news with my wife, and Titus came on the screen, and there's obviously a lot going on right now, and a lot of people not quite sure how to approach the situation and looking for a voice of reason. And watching Titus speak, he said he never wants to be involved in politics, but my wife and I stood up off of the couch when we were watching him. We were sitting when he started, we were standing by the end. And I texted him and I said, I'm just right now, my ears are open, I'm listening, I'm learning. And somebody like Titus is a voice of reason right now that hopefully a lot of people are listening to and learning from, because I know I am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy.
We'll come next to Elva at Columna Sera.
Hi, Drew.
Hello.
2 years ago, I asked you about your future, and you described it perfectly what had happened in the last month. So I'm going to ask you the same question again. What's next for you?
Ooh, did I say become WWE champion 2 years ago?
And you said you were going to be Brock Lesnar. So
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I keep saying this as well in interviews. You know, if you say something, you believe it enough and you work hard enough, it's going to happen. So, okay, here we go. In 2 years, I'm going to still have the WWE title. I am going to have had a super show in every single country in the world. So all these big shows where you get like 60,000 people, I want to do one in so many different countries. So we're going to do one in every country when things open back up. And I'm going to be the president of the entire world. That's my goal for the next 2 years. So if I say it, it'll probably happen, apparently.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll come next to Matty Paddock at Daily Star.
Hi, Drew. Thanks for your time. Good to talk to you.
You too, mate. How are you getting on?
Yeah, we're good here. Not too bad, thanks. Not too bad. One
Nice
of the
t-shirt.
other things, apart from yourself and your title reign, of course, that a lot of the WWE universe at the moment is talking about is The Undertaker and the incredible Last Ride documentary. There's so much speculation as to when his last match might be, whether he's even considered yet which one that might actually be. From your perspective, the possibility of working with the big man, would you like to remain champ long enough, and would you like him to remain in the squared circle long enough for you guys to have a little run together? And what would your thoughts be on how that would look and how that would play out?
I really hope so. Yeah, the Last Ride documentaries have been amazing. It's so strange to see him speak out of character, because I was there when cameras would come backstage back in the day and he would literally tell them to F off. And then now to see him open up and let people into his, you know, not just amazing character, but amazing work ethic that inspires so many people, including myself, you know, it's really cool. Like I guess The Last Dance is a big thing going on right now. People getting to see what Jordan was like and what drove him and his work ethic, etc. Now you're seeing a look behind the scenes of another absolute legend in our business, The Undertaker, what drives him and what drives him is his passion for this industry. And that really, really inspires me. Also, he's talking about every episode about how this is the last one he's going to retire. I really hope, you know, he holds out a little bit longer. There was a time over 10 years ago when we're hopefully going to build to a big singles match with The Undertaker and I. We had one right before Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, when Shawn Michaels was retired. That was my first official defeat. We had the tag team match with myself and Shane McMahon against Roman and The Undertaker right after the Goldberg match. It didn't go particularly well, and the tag match did go particularly well. We had a couple of moments. I'm all about moments now rather than the match. When we went face to face, myself and The Undertaker, the crowd started rumbling. When he was doing the throw it cut and I rose up behind him, then Roman saved him from the kick. Afterwards, he seemed pretty happy, and I wanted to show him, like, hey, we get the opportunity. Yeah, I know he works, I guess, better with smaller guys these days, but you know, I can work various different styles, let's say, while bringing a believability factor to get offense on The Undertaker. And I really think, given the right circumstances, considering our history and the fact that he did give me my first official defeat 10, 11 years ago, there's a good story there, and I know the match would absolutely deliver if given the opportunity.
That's great. Appreciate your time. All the best on Sunday.
Thank you, bud.
We'll come next to Raul at Indian Express. Raul, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Go ahead.
Hi. Hi. So my question is, we all can't wait until the day, you know, when crowds return to the stadium and, you know, you get a loud pop. So what would your reaction be like when the crowds return, you know, everything goes back to normal?
I honestly don't know. I've thought about it, and I've I've visualized a lot of the time certain scenarios in my head, especially like upcoming matches. And I've already started kind of visualizing myself and Lashley, what might happen out there. And in that particular situation, I don't know. I honestly think if it's a stadium, like an arena full of WWE fans who have been waiting for this for a long time, they're going to be so loud and excited and passionate. I think it's going to be overwhelming, to be honest. I don't like my feelings to come out on camera too much. It's happened a couple of times because sometimes you just can't help it. And I've got the feeling that I'm just going to be completely overwhelmed, to be honest.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll come over now to Kenny McIntosh at Inside the Ropes.
Hey Drew, how's it going?
Danny and Kenny, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Listen, I wanted to ask you because it's a weird spot where in March we were at, you were doing interviews in the UK and you were sent back that day because of everything that was going on. And it was like 2.5 weeks you had to process, okay, you're facing Lesnar, there's no crowd. And now we're a few months on, there's now people kind of in the crowd from the PC. We're starting to get a little bit of an atmosphere at the shows. If you get past Lashley on Sunday, what are you thinking for SummerSlam, which is arguably, the next huge pay-per-view? Are you looking at Edge and Orton and thinking one of those two would be a great opponent for you at SummerSlam? In your mind, how does the SummerSlam look like for you as champion, and who would your opponent be?
I guess first of all, I love that we've got what was the correct term right now, the performance center trainees around the ring. It does add that atmosphere. I think it's a little bit easier for the viewer to watch now. So I have enjoyed that addition. Regarding SummerSlam, when I get past Lashley, there's no ifs. I've also on that note, I'm excited that Lashley and MVP together is going to be a good attraction going forward, and we finally figured out like this is exactly what Lashley needs to be. So sorry, buddy, you are going to lose. You're going to get a kick in the head, but you're going to be at the top of the card because that's where you belong. The killer Lashley is the Lashley we all deserve. Regarding SummerSlam, I think Orton is the one that has to happen. Right now we're in a situation where we're building a lot of people, including myself. And myself and Lashley together, I think we're able to help each other with MVP and bring each other up. As I'm on my rise, establishing myself as champion and what my legacy is going to be. But someone like an Orton is somebody that can make me work up and really learn from. He's an obviously an established face, and people tune in. They're going to say, "There's Randy Orton." If they've never, seen me before, that remember me from the past, they're going to go, "Oh, who's this guy?" And he's going to help tell that story and really establish me, as a top player. I think basically Randy Orton is my Joker. I think there's a great storyline there, considering if you look at our youth, perhaps we didn't make the best decisions, and while I was perhaps punished, he was rewarded. I think I had to take the long way around to get there. And Randy said himself, he doesn't always, try the hardest, but he's so good that things tend to work out. And I really had to work extremely hard to get to where I'm at today. And I think it's going to be very interesting from a story perspective. I know the matches will be good. And it's, like I say, he's the Joker. He's the one that's going to bring me up, and he's the one that's going to cement my status, I think. So WWE, book it, please. Okay.
Cheers.
We're going to come next to Saul at Diario Record.
Hey Drew, how you doing?
Good, bud. How are you?
Hey Drew, did you speak to Mr. McMahon after winning the WWE Championship in WrestleMania? What did he say to you after all this journey?
He was happy and proud. I'm the same for Triple H and pretty much everybody, to be honest, on the roster. But they saw something special in me a long time ago that perhaps other people didn't see, that perhaps I didn't even see. And took a long time and a lot of hard work to see it pay off, and to see, I guess, what he saw. And in Hunter, I had seen pay off. It meant the world to me and to them also. I always say Mr. McMahon can predict the future. He predicted the network way before it happened. He predicted the company going public way before it happened. And he predicted Drew McIntyre's world champion way before it happened. So everybody was happy.
Thank you, Drew.
Thank you.
We'll come next to Vicente at Marca.
Hi, Drew. How you doing?
Good, bud. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you for your time, for being with us today. I want to ask you about Backlash. It's one of the oldest pay-per-view in WWE history. And I don't know if you have any special moment, any special match from the history of this pay-per-view.
I'd have to really think about matches from Backlash. No, I need a list in front of me. Have you got any suggestions for me?
Your next match?
There we go. That's a perfect suggestion. My favorite match, Backlash. it was June 14th. We'll play this after June 14th. When Drew McIntyre beat Bobby Lashley in 2 minutes and 33 seconds, and then Claymored MVP. And then people from around the ring started feeding in too for some reason. He Claymored all of them, and it was a big Claymore party, and then we had a big celebration. That was a great Backlash.
Thank you so much. Hopefully it's fine. Eh?
Thank you, buddy.
We'll come next to Gabriel at El Universal Gráfico. Gabriel, go ahead. Gabriel, we'll try once more.
Now,
there you go.
Hi. Okay. Sorry. In your opinion, Drew, in your opinion, what is the importance of the wrestler who was not born in the United States in WWE? And what do you think about the Mexicans, Andrade, Angel Garza, and Humberto Carrillo?
First of all, Andrade and Angel are phenomenal. Like, they were born into this. They've wrestled their entire life. It's very clear when you're in the ring with them, just how good they actually are, which is unbelievable. And I'm excited to keep watching them progress. You know, Andrade's been around a little longer, and he's going to cement himself as a main event player soon enough. And Garza, you know, he's just so talented, also so charismatic. I'm excited to watch him ascend up the card, and eventually I'll be having world title matches with both of them. Regarding, you know, superstars not from America, you know, that's the great thing about WWE. You know, it's so diverse, with represent 30 countries, speak more than 20 different languages, represent about every race, religion, sexual orientation. You know, we've got everything at WWE. You know, I'm the first ever British champion in history. And if somebody's got the talent, if somebody steps up, it doesn't matter what country you're from, what your background is, you know, you'll be sitting in this position too as world champion one day.
Thank you, Drew.
Thank you, buddy.
We'll come next to Riju at Sportskeeda India.
Hey, Drew, how's it going?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm great. You mentioned Randy Orton not long back. Now, I spoke to him last time, and he said he wouldn't mind going to NXT and teaching the people there how to work in a safe manner. Now, having come from NXT yourself, what do you think of the whole Twitter feud between him and Tommaso Ciampa that's been happening?
Yeah, I think I've seen a couple of back and forth tweets. You know, Randy, I mean, obviously Randy's Randy. He's just going to say how he feels. That's, I guess, one of the charming parts of him. And I saw Ciampa responded, was a little bit offended. But the thing is, if it creates interest and people end up wanting to see a match because of it, and I think I saw Randy say something, you know, he's going to do whatever the boss says. And that'd be a really unique situation. I would hope the crowds are back by then, because I think it'd be really interesting to have an arena full of, you know, NXT fans at a takeover and have Randy Orton walk out and attack Ciampa. So if it does happen, I really hope we save it for down the line when it gets the appropriate response, because I think that could be a very interesting crowd dynamic, like you know, like almost like ECW, WWE back in the day. So yeah, my personal opinion is I hope they save it. If they get to work together, Randy can't help but teach. Ciampa's phenomenal, but again, Randy's Randy. There's a reason I want to work with him for the world title, is so I can learn, because there aren't too many guys around anymore that have learned from the best, been around for a long time, can really pull you up and put you on that learning tree, and Randy Orton's one of them. So anybody that works with him will absolutely benefit.
Thank you, and best of luck and Backlash.
Thank you, buddy.
We'll come next to Costas at the Daily Express. Costas, just hit unmute if you can.
Hi, Drew. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you too, buddy. How you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Fabulous.
Excellent, excellent. Now, after such an intense war with Brock Lesnar heading to WrestleMania, do you think your war with Lesnar is over? How confident are you of a dream match, of a rematch? Sorry.
Like I said earlier, I wouldn't be surprised, if he shows back up. That's what he does. When you least expect it. When I was in the Money in the Bank match, I didn't know he was coming. Nobody in the match knew he was coming. He showed up just out of nowhere, won the match. I'm assuming he's not very happy about the fact that I dominated him leading into WrestleMania and then beat him in 5 minutes of WrestleMania. So chances are I have a target on my back. I'm the champion. I've got a target on my back anyway, so I don't care if it's Lashley, if it's Rollins, if it's somebody stepping up, or if it's Brock Lesnar returning. I say, come ahead, attack me. I assume he'll come from behind. I'm assuming he'll beat me down. But when I get back up, I'll be ready for that match and that rematch if it does happen.
Thanks, Drew. All the best.
Thank you, bud.
And we've got time for one final question, so we'll come back to Alex McCarthy at TalkSport.
Drew, just catching
Alex,
before you go, my friend. I thought we must talk about the banger that you had with Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank, and I really feel like that set the tone for you as the champion. I guess you put pressure on yourself to have those kind of matches every pay-per-view that you are the champ. Just talk to me about the reaction you got for that match, how proud you were of it, and taking those standards and leading on to other pay-per-views.
Yeah, I was very happy with that match with Seth. I really felt like I needed, a top quality pay-per-view match. After I won the title, and you can't ask for any better than Seth Rollins. Aside, he has chemistry with everybody, but we have very good chemistry. I won't go into the ins and outs of, how wrestling matches come together, but there's certain people that you really don't have to speak to. And Seth and I can just go out there. We can go for it. Usually we've got a crowd to play off of and feel, where we're going to go and what direction we're going to take the match. But obviously with nobody there, it was more in our heads. I think we're both at a stage where we can almost hear it in our heads, where the crowd's reacting like, even though there's no crowd, and where we should take the match. We're both highly physical, highly competitive. And yeah, I was very happy with that match. The response was, incredible. And that's my thing going forward. I'm the WWE champion. If you're in a match with Drew McIntyre, especially at a big pay-per-view, I want people walking away from it saying, wow, that was an incredible match. And if everyone went in assuming, Drew and Seth are probably going to have a good match, well, it wasn't just good, it was really good. If they're going into this one with Lashley and I, like a little bit unsure, a little bit like, okay, well, this could be okay, it'll probably be physical, I want them to leave saying, damn, okay, that's why Drew's WWE champion, and damn, I'm really interested in Bobby Lashley now, because that's my job as champion, is to bring everybody up.
But when you get back through the curtain, is it just like everyone instantly knew, yeah, that was good?
Right now, when you get through the curtain, there's nobody there, just for the nature of the setup, the PC and for health and safety, etc. But there's sometimes you don't need anybody to tell you. Like, we got eventually people's opinions, but yourself, and it was good. Like, I knew, Seth knew, and we just basically look at each other and could just, without saying words, like, hell yeah, that was a good one.
It was good, man. I'm looking forward to Sunday.
Awesome. Thank you, brother.
Well, we want to thank all of you for your time today. Really great questions, and we really appreciate it. As always, final word should go to Drew. So, Drew, we know that Bobby Lashley reads a lot of the stuff that is being written going into pay-per-views. We know that we have got the best possible people on this Zoom call to reach the world. So what about a final message for Bobby Lashley going into Backlash this Sunday?
To encourage me to say things that are going to make headlines. Okay, so if we're going to make some headlines, what can I say? Because Bobby loves the dirt sheets. He's just sitting on them all the time, reading them nonstop. I saw a couple of the comments Bobby had to say. And I can tell you, first of all, he is an incredible competitor. He is the top threat for the title. He's as legitimate as they come, and we do bring the absolute best out of each other. It's going to be an absolute war. But he did say the whole, what was it? He had to work harder for opportunities. I'm the chosen one and all this stuff. That was 11 years ago, mate. What happened since then? I was in 3MB. Oh, yeah, I was fired. I had to start from scratch. In fact, I didn't start from scratch. I started from 10 feet down, had to dig my way up to scratch. and then work from there and redefine what it meant being fired from WWE. You know, I tried to work so hard. Eventually, my brother told me, "Hey, Drew, you've become a verb. To do a Drew, succeed, you know, in spite of getting fired." Well, with Lashley, apparently, you know, he had to work for everything he did. I'm not saying that, but two-time ECW champion, one-time United States champion, was in that little match. What was that little match? Oh yeah, it was Vincent McMahon and Umaga on the Monster Push against Lashley, and oh yeah, the President of America. You know, I don't remember doing anything like that myself. And then when he left on top, so he wasn't starting from scratch or 10 feet down like I was. He was able to charge wherever he wanted to charge. He worked whenever he wanted to work. Like I say, he's such a badass that he was able to do MMA and was basically undefeated the entire time. But when it came to work ethic, when I was the busiest wrestler in the world, he certainly wasn't. So that's the only thing I took umbrage to, was talking about, you know, my work ethic. So yeah, that's all I've got to say about that. We can back to WWE. We're both in the same boat. We're both working together. We do bring out the best in each other, but we're in the same boat until I was finally given the opportunity to be myself, to talk in the microphone, to let the fans in a little bit, to tell my real story. And it's not because I was chosen by anyone in the back. The fans decided, this is our guy. This is the guy we want right now. So anyway, Lashley, that hurt my feelings. It's not going to hurt as much as what I'm going to do to you this Sunday at Backlash, mate. Thanks, everybody. Give some headlines for Lashley to read now.
Well, with that, thank you all again. Enjoy Backlash on Sunday, and we look forward to speaking to you all again very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.